Alright, so hi. This is a very different video than I'm sure you guys are used to seeing from me, or something along the lines of this, because I am not a drama channel. I'm not really a commentary channel like how other people are. I more like to do topics, art vlogs, story times, yada yada yada, speed paints, random rambles, things like that. But the current two videos that I'm working on right now, which one is a very big video for the con series, which is becoming a lot harder than people would have thought. I know my editing isn't like anything like super amazing or a lot of stuff in it, but it was a very long interview and there were a lot of tangents, as well as the person I interviewed reached out to me and I had to like thoroughly triple and quadruple check the audio because some things have happened to them. I won't get into it, but their job might have been in jeopardy with some of the things they were saying. So because of that, I am like fine-tooth combing just the audio portion. The art was the easy part of that video, but because of that, it's taking me a lot longer than I expected, and a lot of things are happening in my personal life right now. And I have a lot of backup footage, but not a lot of backup audio. So with that being said, there's another video in the works that's also taking a lot longer because I'm actually like researching and doing more stuff with it. Because I want to be more concise with the topic that I'm talking about. So I reached out to you guys. I went to my community tab and I went to Twitter and I'm like, hey guys, can you help me out here? Because I really don't want it to just be vlog after vlog and then a big like topic video. For the convention series, I would much rather have it be like something in between. And so I got a lot of really good, not a lot of people come on the community tab, but I got a few DMs on Twitter and a few messages on Twitter and even DMs from my patrons, which are very helpful. I love you guys so much. And a lot of the ideas were great, but they weren't really ideas for like a quick video. And that's kind of what I needed right now, just to let you guys know what's going on, that like nothing weird is going on in my life. It's just a lot of stressful life stuff right now. And I've always said this, YouTube doesn't make me a lot of money. So money has to come first when you have to support, you know, pets and a family and things like that. So I had somebody ask me who they wanted me to talk about my thoughts on the CreepShowArt issue that's going on now. I made a video previously when things were really going down, and I made a mistake here, and I will admit that. I was not as concise as I should have been. It was very much more of like my opinions, my thoughts video, like most of my content is. But a lot of people found it and were really upset by it because they were like, oh, you're just rambling about your life and your opinions and you're not talking about the issue. And I'm like, oh, but that's kind of what I've always done. So I realized it got pushed into an algorithm that isn't like my normal content. So that way when people saw it, they were like, what is this? I wanted facts. So you will still be getting facts and opinions, but another reason why this is kind of a quickie video for me is I've actually been in my own time keeping up to date with the CreepShowArt stuff. Not intentionally. It's, again, one of those things that I'm kind of working on for that one of those bigger topic videos going on is that, you know, this isn't drama anymore. This isn't like, ooh, so-and-so did something spicy. Ooh, so-and-so did something slightly probably. This is like crimes. Like actual crimes. And I don't mean that like in the joking way, like hee crimes. I mean like jail time and lawyers are involved and like actual crimes have been committed. It's bad. It's not fun. And so with all that being said, I'm going to be a little random here and I'm going to do my Patreon chill out here. That way I'm not like when I'm done talking about it, I'm not just going to be like, and thank you as always to my patrons. I'm going to do it now. So I'm going to put the new little card on screen, like a little. And so editing Michie, have fun trying to find that here. But I have my paper ASMR here, you know, for some notes to go down to. Because the reason why I'm very conflicted on this and the whole opinions and just everything going on right now is the current stuff with what's happening with CreepShow right now. There is literally no way I can talk about it without bringing up the Gabbie Hanna stuff and the Jimmy Snow stuff. So if you guys have not been keeping up to date with drama and stuff going on in the Gabbie Hanna situation, because that's also a huge dumpster fire. But I literally cannot just talk about Creepshow and not talk about this, because in the finger quote leaked phone calls, because I have opinions on that in a minute, she brings up so many other people in it that if I just came out here and was like, oh yeah, and CreepShowArt was being a two-timing snake, which isn't that big of news as everything that's come out now, it's kind of how she's been, I feel like I would be disingenuous in this. I feel like it wouldn't be doing the whole story. So I will have really long, in-depth videos that I liked down below describing what's going on with the Gabbie Hanna stuff. One video in particular is very powerful. It is a little triggering, but the person in the video is very respectful. They do trigger warnings, but I think it is one of the most important ones to watch about the Gabbie Hanna situation right now. And then I will link down some more comedic ones, but are also very informative about the Jimmy Snow stuff and things like that. So if you guys want a video where you got, like, you know, receipts and things in the thing, go to those. That's not going to be here. I'm going to be rambling about my thoughts and opinions on it. So a quick TLDR of what's been going on. I'll just go with the Jimmy Snow one because that's the easiest one, and goes into the Gabbie Hanna one, which goes into the Creepshow one, and it's just a whole cluster of a mess right now. So the Jimmy Snow situation, Jimmy Snow is or was Dear Mr. Atheist. He was getting burnt out on Dear Mr. Atheist. I actually like some Dear Mr. Atheist content. Not a long-time subscriber. I literally found him earlier this year, or right before he did the change to Jimmy Snow from Mr. Atheist. It was like literally right around that time frame. I had been like subscribed for like maybe a week or two when he did the big like name change and doing the Sometimes show and stuff. And I'm also not an atheist. I know it sounds weird, but I'm technically a pagan. If you want to like be like technical with it, my religion is very complicated because of my upbringing and background. But he made... So I didn't know, this is what I mean, it's a whole mess. Okay, so I didn't realize that the shared friend from Rachel Oates and Gabbie Hanna was Jimmy Snow. I didn't, literally until he like made his first hour-long expose being an idiot. I know that's me. One of my opinions, he was being an idiot because, and in one of the videos I linked down below, they really go into detail about how he's contradicting himself and how he's showing his hand here, where he was white knighting for Gabbie Hanna. Now, I am also a very big book fan. I love books. I love literature. I have a couple of book reviews on my channel. They're not that big, but I love reading. I love writing. I really do. It's a big hobby of mine. I'm not good into poetry. I'm not good at critiquing poetry. A couple of my friends asked me if I would do it. I read her poetry, but I read the first one. I don't want to read the second one. And as someone who didn't like poetry, I was like, okay, it's another YouTuber book. But Jimmy Snow went out and tried to clear his name from what Rachel Oates said about him in an interview, because he, you know, went to Rachel and was like, hey, leave Gabbie alone, pretty much. Which, before anybody thinks that I'm, like, white knighting for Rachel either, I'm not. I think she was also very much milking a situation. What happened to her was terrible. She did not deserve the hate mob. She did not deserve to get her Instagram taken away. She did not deserve any of that. But she did make, like, 5 or 6 videos about Gabbie Hanna before, like, stuff really blew up. I only ever saw 2 of her videos. I saw the first really in-depth analysis of adultolescence, and then I saw the part 2. I didn't watch the stuff about dogtolescence. I didn't watch, like, her part 2 to that with an in-depth thing, because after a while I really did feel, okay, Rachel, I think you are milking it for views, but, you know, like, again, to each his own. People gotta make their coin. They gotta make their bank. I didn't watch them. So, in a way, he did have a small point that she really should, you know, not just be making a bunch of videos like that, because there are a lot of channels out there that their entire bread and butter is sometimes a single problematic YouTuber breathes. They have stuff on it. It's also really big in the horror movie community because, well, again, I don't make horror movie content. I freaking love horror movies. And to tell you guys how many people I had to unsubscribe to because every time there was a breath about the new Halloween movie coming out this year, they would have like 5 videos on it, and I was getting so sick of it. And I've been getting that way with a lot of channels I used to follow, is if they are pretty much becoming like a one-trick pony because it makes them money. I have always said, cool, good for you, make that coin. You're not making it from me, though, because it's the, you know, same stuff, different day. I'm not getting anything new here from this information. So that was that on that. But he made his first video showing his hand and being a brown noser to Gabbie Hanna by throwing away a friendship for someone he openly admitted in his video that he only talks to like 2 or 3 times a year. Okay, someone you only talk to 2 or 3 times a year is not a friend. I think I should like get that out there. I have friends that have been friends for long times where we sometimes go months without talking to each other, but we never go like, I'm going to talk to you like 2 times a year and we're still friends. At that point, you're back to acquaintances. You don't know that person that well, even with busy schedules. And so to throw a friendship away over that was really dumb, especially when he didn't read the book, which he admitted to, and he didn't watch Rachel's videos critiquing Gabbie Hanna. The original ones, the ones that I saw, the critiquing ones. So he was literally just white knighting for white knighting, and it bit him in the butt, and he got backlash for it because it was very stupid. For somebody who is, very intent on being thorough and having his research and having employees and a team, you would have thought that someone would have given him notes like, hey, this is what Rachel said in her analysis videos. Again, did she kind of milk it a little bit? Yes, I personally think so. It's a my thoughts video. But he did that, and then he made a part 2 to that where he then went on a tirade. I really liked Jack's video on it. Hers is long, but she really, really goes in depth about it. So I'll have that linked down below as well, if you want to know about that. But because of bringing all of that up, we have to go into the Gabbie Hanna stuff right now because CreepShow has put out in the leak phone calls, which again is kind of the whole thoughts about this, is she's friends with Gabbie Hanna. It's been kind of well known if you following any circles around this information right now. And she was messaging her about this stuff, and then, again, being a 2-timing snake and talking about it behind her back. Now, from what I found from the YouTuber that had the leaked phone call, I don't know a lot about this person. I don't know a lot about them. I'm not trying to throw shade at all. I just kind of want to know when this phone call took place. If I'm wrong and it was a recent phone call, please let me know. But the way I saw it from what I saw on the channel, they were kind of holding on to the audio until a good time, which I've never felt comfortable with. Not even this person, but there are people like Trisha Paytas where they've, said that as well, where they're like, oh yeah, I have all this information on somebody and I don't know why I waited on doing this, and it's something that's never sat well with me when anybody does that. When they just hold on to information until it's convenient for them, or the guilt is eating them up inside, they have to do it. Again, I'm happy that Camilla, however you say her username is, did post the video. I was just a little irritated that I'm like, when was this phone call? Was this a recent phone call? Or just hold on to this audio for a while? Because it's bad. It's a bad audio clip. There's nothing good about it. And not bad in the quality, is it just shows the kind of person that Shannon is. And ironically enough, and I wasn't expecting for this to happen, but the other day when I was working, I was re-listening to a really, really old, I think it's Edwin's Generation or Homeboys Got Receipts, whatever the username is, live stream clipping thing. I'm not subscribed to the channel, but every now and then they pop them in my recommended, and if I'm in the zone and it's just on, I don't really turn it off. And it was an older one where CreepShow was on as a guest, and she was talking with some other people, and out of nowhere did she start complimenting a person. And it really made me think this time around, because I've said this before, I was never a CreepShowArt fan. I did like a couple of her videos back when she had tips of, what it was like being homeless, and then we all know about that, but that was pretty much all I ever liked about her. And then when I was listening to that, like, I literally stopped what I was doing and just kind of like really focus, because it was so out of left field, and she wasn't even complimenting me, but it made me feel so uncomfortable with the stuff they were talking about, to her just suddenly being like, you're a queen, you're amazing, stop that, you're beautiful, if blah 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 blah, like just showering of the compliments. And the other person was clearly really happy, at least from the sounds of it, but I remember just sitting there and absorbing that and being like, Is that how she talked to her friends? Like, is that how she became friends with her friends, was the love bombing thing? Because every single person I've seen so far talk about it, Ready to Glare, Repzilla, I think it was Ashley Kyle, I think, I'm not sure, have all talked about this love bombing thing that she did, and how she would just, throw money at a problem, and then, like, it would be like this form of things, and like right before everything happened, she sent Ready to Glare roses. And I remember just me being a bystander feeling so uncomfortable with that. Not even with the context of what I know now. Just like that's like a lot of it clicked into place, because going back to Shannon, which is the whole point of this ramble and this thing and my thoughts, is in my previous video, I brought up how she was really smart, and quite a few people were trying to contradict me in the comments and be like, she's not smart, she got caught. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but listen, and there we go, whenever you put but in front of it, CreepShowArt, Shannon is smart. I don't think enough people are getting that right now. Even smart people get caught. But this woman knows how to network to a terrifying degree, and I really mean that. I have met literally only one other person like Shannon who knows how to network the way that she does and get into groups the way she did. And they turned out to also be a terrible person. I won't be saying who it was, past the past, and they don't have that big of a following. But I've met those people where I talked to my friends and I talked to other people and be like, how did this person get in our group? How did we get to even talking to this person? How did this person suddenly get connections with this person when they don't have that big of a following at the time? They don't have this and that. They don't really have connections that we know of. Like, it's kind of terrifying. I know it might be like, you just sound like you're jelly about... No. Like, I want to really emphasize this, because this is with the Creep Show stuff. She got on live streams with Corpse Husband, a drama channel, got on live streams and played games with Corpse Husband. She was in the gaming community, the commentary community, the drama community, the makeup community. She was on TikTok. She was, she was doing streams. I don't know if it was on Twitch. I know she was definitely on YouTube. But she had terrifying connections, and you don't get those connections by being stupid. You don't get those connections and know how to network by getting lucky. That is working. You work for that. You work for this. And I said in my previous video, when I was talking about this, that money corrupts, and it really does. And I think that's what happened, which is why I think she's trying so hard to get back, because going into another drama situation, perfect example of what's going on right now is David Dobrik came back, like, with everything that happened to him. He came back, and while people are like, well, his videos aren't getting the same that they got before all this stuff happened with David Dobrik, he's still getting millions of views. He's still getting a lot of money. He literally got a Discovery Plus show on Shark Week. You don't get that and not get money. Another, good example of stuff like that is like with the Shane Dawson situation. Everything happened to him, and he just has been sitting pretty in his house and is moving and making vlogs and being snarky and, trying to be funny and like, oh yeah, blah, 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 drama channels, commentary channels, this and that. He's still a millionaire. They literally, like, I think bought an RV and, like, are moving to Colorado or something. And I really think that they're just taking, like, Shane Dawson and CreepShow are trying to take the Shane Dawson approach, or not the Shane Dawson, but they are trying to take the David Dobrik approach of, well, there's going to be people to watch this anyway. Because here's the thing. Shannon still has fans. I know it might seem baffling, but David Dobrik still has fans. Shane Dawson still has fans. Gabbie Hanna still has fans. And relatively speaking, if you know how to network and you know how to YouTube the way CreepShowArt Shannon did, honey, that's the world's easiest money. Not a lot of people like talking about that, but knowing how to do that, a lot of people were trying to call BS when Shannon was like, oh yeah, I make $20,000. I fully believe she does. Here's why. She might not be making it from AdSense, but she had, from what I remember, she had a Patreon. Don't know if that ever went away. She had a join feature on her YouTube channel, even if it was for a limited time. I remember seeing that button a couple times, so she had that. She did sponsorships, which, again, with someone with that kind of networking skill and background that she claims to have had, those sponsorships were not cheap. So, and she claimed that her videos were always demonetized, and while YouTube now is monetizing for YouTube demonetized videos, you're not getting personally put ad breaks in. Your YouTube's going ham. I've had it happen to me where YouTube just slaps ads in there. You can very much tell when someone took their time to try to think of where to put an ad, and they let YouTube just autofill. So with that being said, I fully believe that she was making that $20K a month. I don't think it was all on YouTube. I think it was from different revenue sources because of her YouTube. And that's what I mean. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that a lot of people are not going to easily be able to just walk away from. I originally thought that she was going to take maybe a year or two and come back if she was smart with her money and, just try to rebrand or come back out because she knows what to do in another name. Turns out I was wrong. She's trying to come back in other ways, but she is now doing a very, very common, actually, manipulative tactic when it came to her friends and people she had contacts with and the love bombing and the donations, and it wasn't gifts, okay? It wasn't gifts, it wasn't that, it was literally to hold it against you, against them, those people. And the reason why I say that is because I have witnessed these people who aren't on YouTube. These people exist outside of YouTube, by the way. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm so happy that when I, turn off my YouTube or whatever, I don't have to. These people do exist. In fact, recently in one of my vlogs, or semi-recently at the time of recording this, I had a friend of mine, and they had a very abusive friendship because of a friend that their partner was with. And so, because of that friend was not my friend, the friend of a friend, the abusive friend. We'll just call them. We'll call the abusive friend Sean. Sorry, Sean's out there. You're gonna be Sean right now. So, my friend had a lot of stuff with Sean because Sean was a person that made a lot of money but didn't know how to keep their money. And so with that being said, Sean would buy my friend and my friend's partner all these gifts, all these things, and then treat them like trash, and would say terrible things to my friend's partner, belittle their facts, do this and that. But my friend's partner didn't have a lot of friends, wanted to try to grin and bear it, but it started dipping into their workplace. It got so bad that Sean called my friend at work and said, hey, I bought your partner a very expensive drone, which they told Sean not to, but Sean did anyway. That is my drone because I bought it. And my friend had to be like, no, you bought it for my partner as a gift. And it's like, yes, a gift because we were friends. We are no longer friends. That is my drone. You need to bring it back. See what I mean there? Sean would do that, would buy friendship, and I'm pretty sure that's what Shannon did with a lot of the connections she did, was whether it be buy friendship literally with money, because again, we've heard about what was happening with, the live streams and the love bombing, and I know that Smokey Glow, I really liked Smokey Glow, in one of her podcasts, because I don't think she actually talked about it in her CreepShowArt video. It wasn't a whole podcast dedicated to CreepShowArt or Shannon or anything like that, so don't go searching for that. It was a part of a podcast. I don't remember which one because they're currently on hiatus right now, but brought up how every single time Smokey Glow did a live stream, Shannon would be in there and donate $20 or something like that. If it wasn't her, it was somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it was her, and do things like that. And then I know that there was a person that Shannon tried to reach out to, but then ended up making fun of him for crying because Shannon gave him $100 in a YouTube stream, which again, shows the kind of person she is, that, you know, let's be honest, if I ever got $100 donation, I would probably sob too on live stream. That's a big donation. Doesn't matter who it's from. That's a lot of money in one small dose that not a lot of people get to have. So yeah, you'd be pretty shocked by that. Which, from what I understand, that's not even what happened. That's just what Shannon is saying what happened, which goes into a big thing with the Gabbie Hanna stuff. Is there are a lot of people out there that I've noticed that have to be right or have to be happy. That you can't be both. I know that sounds bad, and that might be a terrible analogy for some people, but there are some situations in life where you do have to take the be happy route. It sucks. It's terrible. I think a good analogy, or not analogy, is a situation in my own personal life, because this is, again, my thoughts. This is a ramble. Here we go. I was living in a very toxic living situation for quite a few years. My husband was too. And there were so many things that we had to hold our tongue about. We couldn't fight. We couldn't debate, even though we really wanted to, and it went against our morals, because it would have made the overall living situation and relationship terrible until we were out of that situation. The moment we were out of that situation, opinions went a-flying. We were able to say what we wanted to say, we were able to debate what we wanted to do, and because we had a place to go home to that this person was no longer connected to, we would just leave. If it got really bad, we're like, all right, until you are a better person, we're going to leave. And that's a very important part of having boundaries. But there are sometimes in situations where you can't do that, especially in situations like YouTube, in situations like networking and like artistry and like collaborations, because there are a lot of people I know of personally that do not like some bigger people on here. They know some things about these bigger people on there. Me saying that, it's not anything illegal. It's just them being bad people. I am not a hypocrite. That's not what I'm talking about. But they know better than to just come out there and openly say it. They're going to keep to themselves. Because, like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that poop show right now. I really want to curse, but I don't want to edit this audio. So it's like, you know, so I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to hold my opinions to myself. Or I'm going to talk about it privately to some friends that I trust. That kind of stuff, you know, because everybody does that. Like, when people are like, oh my God, I can't believe people would do that. I would never. Yes, you would at some point in mind. You would, whether it's something or not. Everybody does. Okay. Everybody has opinions they keep to themselves, or they share with people they trust because they know not everybody's going to understand it. That's just kind of a fact of life. I recently had a debate with a friend of mine, a really close friend of mine, where we had varying different opinions on a certain thing. Again, nothing illegal. We had a heated debate, but you know what? We both came to the conclusion that we're like, what's the point of us fighting and debating about this? I don't agree with your opinion. They don't agree with mine. We're still friends. We can talk about it. And we've now learned we're just not going to talk about this subject anymore as friends. Again, nothing illegal or like really life-threatening. It was just some political stuff that wasn't as drastic as some other things were. But that's what you have to do sometimes, because I'm like, am I going to throw away a friendship of someone I care about really, really, really well over a differencing of opinion that doesn't really affect either of us? No, that's no point, you know? And that's what a lot of people have to do, especially in a business sense. Onto the Gabbie Hanna stuff. Like I said, we're all over the place with this, but this is what you guys wanted. She has to be right to a point where she's making up blatant proven lies. And when it's brought out, what ends up happening is she will change a subject or change a narrative or bring up something completely different to distract from where she was proven wrong. A perfect example is, sorry for the cough there, allergy season is not great right now. Where, like, hasn't touched on the Escape the Night stuff. She hasn't touched on a lot of other stuff that's been proven right now. My brain doesn't want to work. And so she's going to something new. Back to CreepShow and Shannon. This has been proven too, where the person she was making fun of and saying was a crybaby for crying on stream, which it's apparently been proven he hasn't done. Again, I don't know who this YouTuber is. I didn't see the video, but I've seen people saying that he said that. So a bunch of hearsay. That he commented on Shannon's husband's YouTube video asking about what it is, and then Shannon came out and was saying that, hey, why are you saying this? You know, all this stuff is being proven that my husband didn't R-word Emily Artful. And I'm also going to put Emily Artful's video in the description because while it's long, it's also very informative and important about here, because this is where she brings up, and this is where I'll wrap up here with my random ramble thoughts about all of this. She brings up how CreepShow has been stalking her for years. And I will reiterate, CreepShow even made her channel to originally piggyback off of Emily Artful for what she did at the time and doing this and that. And then she got big. And then when she got big, she got money. And then when she got money, she learned how to network and how to do connections and how to get into there. And it finally just came tumbling down. I don't think this is the end of it. I wholeheartedly believe more stuff's going to be coming out soon, because it seems like she's trying to come back real quick. And I feel like either one or two things is going to happen based on everything that I've seen and heard and my opinions on it. I think, one, she's going to keep trying to tread the water and then wait it out until it's not that relevant anymore and then come back. Because if you check her channel, she still has a lot of subscribers. Like a lot. And sadly, there are a lot of people out there that over time they will forget things. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. Again, like I said, look at the Shane Dawson stuff, look at the David Dobrik stuff, look at the Gabbie Hanna stuff. While they are losing things and things are plummeting and things are changing, they still got fans. They're still getting their bills paid. They're still making money. And at the end of the day, that's all people like that really care about. They care about money. They care about power. They care about feeling important. And I just don't think that's something that can easily give up. I just don't. Especially with, from what I've seen, again, this is speculation, many of them don't have the skill sets to, as most people say, get a real job. You know, which is dumb because this is a real job. But you're not going to be making YouTube money doing a normal blue-collar job. Or a job, if you have a degree, that your degree is going to pay for. It's just not going to work. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm not surprised with the leak audio stuff coming out, proving all this terrible stuff and that she's known about it. I guess I will say I'm surprised, though. I mean, no, not really. No, I shouldn't even say that. I'm not surprised that Gabbie sent Shannon some of the videos for this series that Gabbie's doing, because this seems like a calculated thing. This seemed like a very long, calculated thing, not like I'm just going to do it now and do it. I think the reason why she's dragging it out for Gabbie Hanna is because it's not going in the way that she's wanting it to. Well, with CreepShow, her, poofing is kind of working for the way she wanted to. Again, yeah, we're talking about it now, but she's still got a lot of fans. Still got a lot of subscribers. YouTube definitely didn't demonetize her channel or even get rid of her channel, so who's to say she can't just come back? But yeah, I hope... let me know if you guys agree with me on my opinions and my thoughts and my ramble here. I would genuinely like to know how you guys feel about that. And, yeah, as always, guys, I'll see you next time for a normal talk video, art video, yada, yada, yada. Bye.